Welcome back gamers, and today on review we have SNK vs Capcom SVC CHAOS. This game is a fighting game that came out initially way back in 2003. If you lived in North America like me, at the time you had to wait until the next year to grab it. And in an odd choice for those in North America, the publisher decided to release it only to the original Xbox. It's not like the Xbox wasn't popular, but it definitely was not a popular choice for fights fans. So in North America at least, this game remained an obscure title. And to be honest, for most of fight fans, you did not miss much. Of all 4 released SNK CAPCOM crossover fighting games, SVC CHAOS was and still is the weakest of the bunch. Gone from the 3 previous crossovers are teams, which was an odd choice considering this is coming from the SNK themselves, notable for the King of Fighters series. Instead, matches are played 1-1. You have a special gag, which allows for super special and also for cancels, and also an exceed special move, which can be performed when the health is cut down to 50% or less. It's a pretty standard and does not do anything really to push the crossover series forward. Instead, it takes several steps back. This is one of the reasons this particular game is often looked at so bad. It's not really a bad game, it's actually decent as far as fight games go, but it definitely feels like a letdown in comparison to its predecessor all the same. What's really neat about this entry through its roster? It's not a big roster, mind you. It comes in all of the 30 characters with 36 in total unlocked from the start in this version. Several of whom are hidden and selected by using an alternate button on the main roster page. What's cool about the roster though is how wild and different it is, and then how you would expect from the SNK CAPCOM crossover title. I mean, on one hand, you have normal standouts, Ryukyu, Ken, Mei, Kyu, or Vega Mars people. Wait, what? You have some absolutely odd characters thrown in the mix in this entry that you did not really see in dislikes on the previous crossovers. Mars people, Red Aramentor, Mega Man Zero, Princess Athena, not to be confused with the KOV Ministry Athena Samia, and others. Violent Ken was also standout oddity, kind of like Ken's version of Evil Ryu. Violent Ken only ever appeared in this game and would never be in a Capcom fighter until roughly 14 years later with the final Street Fighter 2 game, Ultra Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix for the Nintendo Switch, which added Violent Ken to the roster. All in all, SVC CHAOS has a pretty funky roster that might intrigue some of the older fans of the both companies, but for most people it won't really make a big difference. Code Mystics based the developers who handle the port is nice. I mean, they're not Digital Eclipse, but they seem to handle fighting games decently enough. You have your online with lobbies, but sadly it looks like these are more fun, as there is no ranking matches for the more serious players. The game comes with a rollback with a nice bonus and expected these days. Offline play has a single player arcade mode, 1-on-1 and a practice mode. Speaking of practice, there's an option for visible hitboxes, but extras are minimal. You get over 80 pieces of artwork stands, and not much else. There's no real deep dive museum to see in this, which have been a welcome change from some of their other ports. You're essentially buying this title for the game, and not the extras you might find in other retro ports. With that said, it might be wise to wait for a sale on this one. About that other thing you might have heard. Yeah, that thing that has some people going a little bonkers right now. The cancering. Well, guess what? There's no cancering in the game. Like literally none. Unless you maybe want to turn off the blood, that is. Which might have even been an option in the original version. I don't remember, but none of these characters with background or anything have been censored. Oh, but wait, there's a disclaimer. Yes, there is indeed a disclaimer at the beginning of the game that is shown as a splash screen that you only see when you boot up the game.